Right, so I'm back with episode number 14 now of this new, or not new, this series, SC Freiburg, of course. We're Freiburg for life. We're trying to go all the way to the top and win the Champions League with SC Freiburg. We've already won the Bundesliga, we've won the Super Cup, we've won the DFB Pokal, and even though we've lost 2 Super Cup finals already, I'd love to win one more at least. But we are heading towards the middle of the second season. Fourth season now. But I'm excited to bring you some more episodes and some more games as we enter crucial season to just establish ourselves as one of the best teams in Europe, if not the best team in Europe. But we got to win some games, we got to win some titles, and especially the Champions League. But first, hopefully we'll go back into the Bundesliga and, go through a few months and try to win as many games as we can. I think some of our best players are performing pretty well, so I'm excited about that. So let's go ahead and get into it. So our first game into our episode, it is a 2-0 victory over Darmstadt 98. It was Yuito Suzuki and Marquillo who grabbed the goals for us, thankfully, grabbing the 3 points. Quite comfortable, I may say, and I'm excited to put another 3 points on the board and hopefully get up to the top and hopefully win another Bundesliga title. But then we move on to another pretty big game. It is Marseille in the Champions League. We've won one Champions League game. Hopefully we can win another. It's going to be tough because Marseille are a pretty decent side, but I think we have a better squad. Having that being said, they are the ones that score first. Yay! I mean, Guidi? I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that, but he scores the goal for Marseille, and he's on the ball yet again. He takes the shot, and it's another one. That's 2-0, quite early on into the game, I can't lie. And I don't know what Nico Schlotterberg was doing there, but it's a great, easy chance for them, and thankfully Altabolu bails us out with a great save there. But come on, Nico, you gotta do better there. Merlin Roll in the Champions League, you know what happens. He scores, of course he does. It's Merlin Roll with a goal. Of course, that's what our number 10 does. I mean, Guidi, he's going for his hat-trick, but Altabolu denies him just there. Oof, it's a close one, but Marseille are doing a really good job as they do get another chance quite comfortably in Mohamed Kudus. Yes, Kudus is on Marseille, and they win the game 3-1. But back in the Bundesliga, we face Frankfurt as Fabio Silva gets on the end of a chance. Our new number 9 takes the shot and bags it. Beautiful finish from the Portuguese striker himself. What a strike, and Frankfurt are stunned. And thankfully, we are actually going on to do better things. Like that game against Marseille, we should have done a lot better. But Fabio Silva on another one hits a brace again into the top corner, making it 2-0 for us quite early on into the game. Just like Marseille did against us, we are doing what they did against us, and we're doing it up against Frankfurt. Marseille, unfortunately, it's another loss, man. But in the Bundesliga, hopefully we can do more as Dahoud, if I'm not mistaken, grabs the goal there for Frankfurt, making it 2-1, having our lead in the game. Moise Kean does get a chance there, but thankfully Altabolu is up for the save, and he does make it, ensuring that we're still in the lead. But we've got to score a few more goals in order to make it comfortable. And Moise Kean is there. I said we wanted to score, or I wanted to score a few more goals, but thankfully Moise Kean, while he got the chance, it was wide. But Fabio Silva with the left-footed strike. It goes straight into the top corner once more. That's a hat-trick for our Portuguese striker. Fabio Silva grabbing 3 goals in this game and putting us in the lead, while Asprilla lays it off quite comfortably from Matthias Sule, who's been scoring quite a few goals, and he scores another one for himself. It's an Asprilla assist, Matthias Sule goal. That puts us up, 4-1 up against this tough Frankfurt side? Honestly amazing, but Marquillo gets a second chance at it, and 5-1. He was blocked first, but then he got a second chance, and he scores it, keeping it 5-1 for us. Then in our first cup game, DFB Pokal, we were away from home up against Augsburg. We rotated a lot. We basically put in our entire backup squad. Yes, that includes Matthias Sule and Marquillo, who were the goal scorers. Thankfully, despite Wheatley's equalizer, Marquillo was able to grab 1 goal just before he was subbed off, and we were able to grab the victory. So it means we progress in the DFB Pokal. We are not left on the first round, thankfully. So we keep moving forward in the cup. But back in the Bundesliga, we get off or we continue our winning ways by getting another 3-0 victory, another 3 points on the board. Merlin Roll with the goal in the first half, but Fabio Silva and Matthias Sula grabbing a goal for themselves as well towards the end of the game to ensure our victory and just ensure that we can actually be the best team in Germany as we have been. I mean, if you look at our badge on the side, on our sleeves, we are the best team in Germany. We won the Bundesliga last season. Anyways, we then have to move on to one of the toughest games in our entire schedule. We're facing Luis Enrique's PSG at their home stadium. Yes, they may not have players like Vitinha because he's playing at AC Milan, but they do still have a few other players like Fabian Ruiz, you saw there. I don't think João Neves is there anymore, but Gonçalo Ramos gets a chance off that just, wow, that was a really terrible shot. But we are at the Parc des Princes, the French side, the French stadium. They do get a chance. Kvaratskhelia gets a beautiful assist if Gonçalo Ramos could put it away, but Atobolu was thankfully there to save it. But Merlin Roll is on the case. He passes it off to Fabio Silva, our striker, our number 9, takes it and strikes it home. That's 1-0 up against PSG, arguably the best team in Europe right now. And I mean, they won the Champions League last season. In game, it's not moving likely. It's not looking like they can actually win this Champions League title so long as Kvaratskhelia doesn't score, and thankfully he does, and Atobolu was a great save there. But we get another chance. Merlin Roll, our Champions League man, with the left-footed strike, puts it away. He was about to get tackled, but he got the shot off just in time, putting us 2-0 ahead. And then Ruben Van Bommel off of a counter with the left-footed strike, completely clean through. And there was only one ending, one result. It was a goal from Ruben Van Bommel himself. And then, of course, Fabio Silva got on the end of another chance and completes his brace there, making it 4-0 away from home up against PSG at the Parc des Princes, and 3 points on the board in the Champions League table. But then we were back at home in the Bundesliga as we did face another very, very, very tough opponent in Stuttgart. They have been pretty decent with some excellent players like Enzo Milo, who has created a lot of problems for us, but our number 10 strikes it. That it's saved, but it's saved by their goalkeeper. He's a great player there. But Romeo Lavia having a chance of his own? No, he passes it over to Fabio Silva, who strikes it. But it's so unfortunately saved. I still don't know how the keeper was able to save that. That's a beautiful, beautiful save right there with the arm. Can't believe it. But Romeo Lavia, he scored a lot of goals last season. Can he score a lot this season? It's not looking likely as the ball just goes over. But Stuttgart do get a chance here. And what an incredible pass off to Sofiane Diop. And yeah, it was a great finish. Honestly, we were on top a majority of this game, but Stuttgart got a few chances they were able to score. I still can't believe that they scored first after all our incredible chances. Even Merlin Rolls right there. Great save by the keeper. This keeper, honestly, really amazing. Depending on his overall, we might actually sign him. But Romeo Lavia gets a cross off to Nico Schlotterbeck. Yeah, he nearly got it, but he did get a touch on it, but it just curled wide. It was unfortunate for us. But Stuttgart do get on the end of another chance. Off to another player, and of course they score. I couldn't tell exactly who that player was. I thought it was Diop for a second, but it wasn't. I think he was the one who assisted the goal there, but Atwolu was unable to save that one. But Merlin Roll with the chance! He gets one, and making it 2-1. We have a chance. We have a chance of making a comeback, and Merlin Roll is the main reason for it. Atobolu has made a few saves, but we need to do better, even though Stuttgart get a chance, and of course it's a wonder goal to put this out of contention, making it 3-1 to the Stuttgart players, to the Stuttgart team. And unfortunately, we were unable to make the comeback despite all of our efforts. Like, I'm sorry, Enzo Milo, what are you doing there? What? We made a terrible, terrible mistake. But Matthias Sule gets a chance off, and he does score, making it 4-2. But it's just too late in the game, too little, too late from Matthias Sule. After that relatively humiliating defeat to Stuttgart, we do bounce back with a huge win away from home versus Werder Bremen with our backup side, Mark Yu hitting a brace, Matthias Sule grabbing a hat trick, ensuring that we grab 5 goals and conceding absolutely 0 goals. And if you notice right there, we got Lira coming back into the squad. Yuito Suzuki has already played a decent amount of games. So has Max Rosenfelder. But there's a new player right there by the name of Lucero with the number 24 on his back. And that is because he is a youth academy prospect who has come up, has a pretty decent overall. I believe it's like 66 or 67, which we'll definitely take. And then Buthelezi grabs a clean sheet for his troubles. But we will definitely take that. Lucero, 5.6 match rating, but I mean, he didn't play the entire game, but we will still take it. As we then face Barcelona in our home stadium in the Champions League. We know how tough they are. I mean, they're my favorite team in real life, but can we get something out of this incredible team? Lucas Chevalier is their captain, not their captain, their goalkeeper, as Romeo Lavia has a shot that doesn't really trouble him, but it's asking questions. It's saying something, but Lamine Yamal on the ball, the number 19 at this moment, gets a shot, but it's blocked, but somehow gets the ball again after some ridiculous things there, and he scores, and then he scores another. He scores two in the span of like, what, 5 minutes? Man, this kid is incredible, but he's already got a brace, but can Asprilla help us get off the mark as Fabio Silva gets this chance, and hits off the post just barely, man. We gotta do better there, but man, we got to be scoring. Fabio Silva gets another chance, though, and strikes it home this time, 2-1. I believe in the comeback. Do you? I think you should, because we are SC Freiburg, the king of comebacks. Even better than FC Barcelona, some might say. But Marcos Leonardo, is it Marcos Leonardo? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is. He gets a chance off that just goes wide, but we will take that. We're not going to concede another goal from an amazing Barcelona player, but it seems like we will, and there it is. Marcos Leonardo missed the first one, but he scores the second one, and it means it's 3-1 to FC Barcelona up against, of course, our very own SC Freiburg side. And just like that, they do get another chance that's blocked eventually, but Dejan Kulusevski gets another header off, bounces and bounces, just wide, thankfully. But they are creating a lot of problems for us, but we gotta do better. We gotta do better. We gotta compete with these big sides. And there's Dejan Kulusevski off of a pass from Leonardo. He's free and it scores. It's a goal. Of course it's a goal. That's 4-1 to their team. And Merlin Roll is so close. So close to getting a goal right there. Was that Hakimi on Barcelona? Anyways, Lamine Yamal takes a strike and scores it near post. I don't know how that happened. I told you gotta do better there, but we lose 5-4. After an embarrassing defeat, who do you want to face in the Bundesliga? Of course, it's Bayern Munich, because that always happens. We're facing Bayern Munich, of course. We're at our home stadium, but Bayern Munich kick us off. And just when you want to, you face the toughest opponents. But thankfully, on a break, we got Ruben van Bommel scoring with his left foot. He had an incredible season in the previous one. He has had rather a slow start to this season, but 2 important goals for us. We will definitely take that. The goal against PSG and then this goal up against Bayern Munich. We will take that. Fabio Silva scores, but unfortunately, he was just offside. It was an incredible pass by Romeo Lavia. Great vision there. Fabio Silva was offside, unfortunately. But Bayern Munich do get a chance by Jamal Musiala doing a bunch of step overs, taking the strike, and thankfully Altabolu saves it, even though it looked like it might have gone in even after the save. But there's Asprilla, completely wide open is what I meant to say, and it's 2-0 thanks to an Asprilla finish right there. And then Ruben van Bommel crosses it back, or passes it back to Merlin Roll, who has a shot, but it's saved, blocked by Hiroki Ito, if I'm not mistaken. Is that Seco? I guess it is a Seco there. But Merlin Roll does get the chance for us. Unfortunately, it's not a goal, but we are still creating chances despite our 2-0 lead. And then Musiala does basically the exact same game, and thankfully it's another save from Altabolu. But we do get on the end of another chance here. Asprilla, can he get his brace? He takes the shot. Of course, it's going to go in, but it just doesn't. It wasn't in, unfortunately. Asprilla, you got to be scoring there, but at least we're still winning. But man, if that bites us in the behind. But there's a great cross from Michael Olise to a great striker there, and it's a great finish. What a header. That's the end of the game. Back in the DFB Pokal, we are facing a very tough opponent, RB Leipzig, who did not actually put up too much of a threat. They do have our lone E in Jesse Guy. They do have Sven Botman. They got Elex Moriba, Xavi Simons still, Omar Marmoush, Ugo Ekitike, and Antonio Nuso, who did create problems in our game against them, but thankfully Charles Dodds scoring his first goal for the team, and Matthias Sule scores as well to ensure that we grab a 2-0 victory and progress to the next stage of the DFB Pokal, which means we're still in it. We're going way further than we did last season, and it means that we could actually have potential of winning it. I believe that puts us in the quarterfinals for the DFB Pokal, so I'm definitely going to take that. And what? Back-to-back clean sheets for us? But it is a very narrow 1-0 victory thanks to Fabio Silva saving our blushes towards the very end of the game. We were still left with 15 minutes left, but we will still take it. Fabio Silva has been a pretty decent signing for us. I mean, is it better than Puado? Jury's still out on that one, but Romeo Lavia does come in because there was quite a bit of rotation. Fabio Silva actually had to come on in order to score a goal for us. It was a very rotated squad because our next game is a very tough one, but we'll take the 3 points up against Hamburg because that could have been a little bit of a disappointment. Not to throw any shade to Hamburg, but we'll take the 3 points and hopefully climb even further up in the league, because our next game was in the Champions League, up against Bergamo Calcio, also known as Atalanta, and we were going to their home stadium. They have Luis Openda, which is of course a former RB Leipzig player themselves. Merlin Roll is the first one on the chance. Our new captain, of course, looks good with that armband, takes the strike, and he scores. Like I said, like I've always been saying, Merlin Roll is our Champions League guy, man. They have Garnesecchi still in goal, thankfully, but they do have Daniel Maldini, who scores the goal. Daniel Maldini was the one to score that goal? Wow, what a finish. Strike. Good job from the son of Paolo Maldini, and a great strike from Kenneth Taylor, if I'm not mistaken, gets them into the lead, making it 2-1 to Atalanta. But we're not going to end it off there because, of course, we're SC Freiburg. We do not give up that easily. Merlin Roll takes another strike. Can he get his brace? Yes, he can. Equalizes the score, making it 2-2 in this a very enticing Champions League tie. We are, of course, in the league phase, but we want to do better. But they get another chance here. The number 8, I believe it's Pasalic, it could be wrong, takes a strike, and thankfully Atabolo was up for the save, or a great cinematic save from him. But it was a lot of pressure from Atalanta as they do get another chance here towards the very end of the game, where Atabolo was called to action, and he was up for it. 2-2 the score. Back-to-back tough games as we do face Borussia Dortmund this time, and we know how much problem they have caused us in the past. I mean, they took away a Bundesliga title from us, a Super Cup, and oh my gosh, and I believe they even won the DFB Pokal in that one season, in our not our third season, maybe our second season, I want to say. Because we won it last season. Yeah, I think it was our second season. But Ruben van Bommel scores yet another one. This would be his game, this episode. I think he scored 3 goals already this episode, from scoring 0 in the last one to scoring 3. You know, it's pretty decent. We will take that from our left mid. But Ozcan gets a shot off there that just narrowly goes wide, but we will take that. We're still in the lead. Ozcan, I'm still surprised that he's at Dortmund. Not to say he's a bad player, but it's just there's a lot of movement. And Ozcan, fair enough for him to stay. But great block there by Romeo Lavia from Savitzer's shot. He's caused us very much problems. He one to score a wonder goal from time to time, but Malik Tia is the one that saves us this time, even though you see Fabio Silva, who's hurt. No, it means he might be out for a few games, if not more than a few games, but Malik Tia, great strike there, or great block there. Until, of course, they did score. It was 1-1 as Aspria has the shot over, has the cross over to Marquiu, but it was a great save by Mike Mainon. I don't think he needed it. I think the ball was going out, but we will take it. And Ruben van Bommel crosses it one more time to Merlin Roll this time. And he heads the ball. That just goes way far over. And it's still tied at 1-1. Who's going to claim the winner? Or will it stay a 1 point for each team as Felix Nemecha tries to cut down my beautiful player, Ruben van Bommel. And then they get another chance here. It's, who is this number 15? I don't know who that 15. Oh, it's Solis, I believe. Solis, the Grecian? Yes, the Greek. Yeah, the Greek player. Is that Luis Diaz playing for Dortmund now? He plays for Bayern Munich in real life, but it's interesting. But it's 2-1 to Dortmund. We are somehow losing. But thankfully, Abde, yes, our other left mid, is off the bench, and he scores his first goal for SC Freiburg. You may remember that he didn't score a single one last season, but he scores this one to equalize the game. In our next game, we did face FC Augsburg, and if you remember, we beat them in the DFB Pokal. I believe it was a 2-1 victory. If not, I could be wrong, but we did beat them, and now we are facing them again in the Bundesliga away from home. And thanks to Markiu Grace, Romeo Lavia scoring his first goal this season, and Merlin Roll doing what he does best in scoring goals, we grab a 4-0 victory, with Alesi grabbing yet another clean sheet. I believe that's 3 clean sheets in just this episode, so good job with Alesi. But we'll take the 3 points. And we got to keep climbing that leaderboard, which we will check out very soon once we hit the halfway point, which I think will be the end of the episode, just as we approach the halfway point of this season. But that does mean we do have to watch and play this game. Nico Schlotterbeck looking real good in that SC Freiburg, uniform, as we do see Mark Yu getting a chance after Merlin Roll blocked shot, and he puts it away, making it 1-0 up against RB Leipzig. I forgot to mention that that's who we're playing in this game. Mark Yu, despite being our backup striker, he has always performed. I mean, he had a really good performance last season. Aspedia gets a shot off. Martin van der Voort does get a block too. And then, of course, they get another chance here by Benjamin Sheshko, who just pokes it in. Cool. Of course, an easy chance. But as I was saying, Aspedia and Merlin Roll are fantastic players regardless of what's going on. And Mark Yu, despite being our backup striker, he knows how to score goals. That's just the truth. You give him even a little bit of time, and he scores goals. Not that one, because unfortunately it did go wide. But we're still tied at 1-1, as RB Leipzig do get another chance, and it's a shot home. Of course it is. As soon as I start talking about RB Leipzig doing remotely well, they do even better. But Merlin Roll hopefully can get the equalizer for us, and he does. That's what our new captain does, of course. He has been absolutely phenomenal. Bisek was relegated to the bench, but he is still a crucial part to us, while Merlin Roll has stepped up as our new captain, or at least our new starting captain, as Merlin Roll does get another one right there. That's 2 goals for him in this game, and that means we put the lead and we take 3 points back home with the 3-2 victory. And in our last game in this episode, it will be a thrilling 3-2 victory over Union Berlin. That all happened in the first half. Other than substitutions, nothing else really happened in the second, but it was Merlin Roll grabbing another brace and Markiu grabbing yet another goal to ensure that Hallerbeck's brace did not seal the victory for Union Berlin, and we get 3 points on the road, which I'm very curious to see how many points we've accumulated so far, because we have had a few losses, some humiliating losses, and a few draws as well. But let's check out the league table to see exactly where we stand, and hopefully pushing for another Bundesliga title. Sorry if this episode was a little fast. I know we didn't see many highlights, but I am trying to get through these games rather quickly, but also get this content pretty quickly out to you guys as well, because I'm also very excited to see if we can win the Champions League in this season, if not maybe next season, and then of course start our FC 26 content. Before that, we do take a quick look, and after 17 games, which is the halfway point of the Bundesliga season, we have won the exact same amount as the current leaders, which is Leverkusen, but we do have 1 less draw, which means we do have 1 less point than them. They're on 41, we're on 40. It's just a 1 point difference. I think we could, clear it up there, but Leverkusen are the league leaders. Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich slowly but surely catching up to us. 2 points behind us is Dortmund, 4 points behind us is Bayern Munich, and then a solid 9 points behind us is RB Leipzig, but do not count them out because we are facing some pretty tough opponents, and so are they, and they also have really good players. But we'll leave it off here, and with a quick look at the league table, I'm very excited. So with all that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I did. It was absolutely incredible being able to progress through the cup as far as we're going. I believe we're up to the quarterfinals now, and I don't know exactly who we've got next, but we're solid contention for the Bundesliga. We're going further than we did last season in the DFB Pokal, and in the Champions League we are struggling a little bit, but with the boost of playing against PSG, arguably one of the best teams in Europe, and beating them 4-0 away from home, pretty good. It's a little misleading of a scoreline because 4-0, did we really create that many chances? Probably not. I think a 2-0 scoreline would have been more just for them. They did have a lot of chances, but thankfully Atabola was up for it. Somehow keeping a clean sheet up against a giant like that, absolutely incredible. And also, we hit a lot on the break. It was a lot of counterattacks that we were able to exploit, and we grabbed a few extra goals towards the end there. But either way, we'll take that. The 3 points were on the board regardless, and now we're in January in the full flow of things. We might be selling a few players, no one of note, mostly just youth academy players, just to bring in some extra income, maybe loaning out a few players. But with that being said, we are gonna move on to the next episode very soon. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said before, if you did, please do like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.